The text came while I was finishing my shift at the hospital. Guess what I found in your dad's office? Your precious college fund. Thanks for the early inheritance, sis. Time to live my best life. My stomach didn't drop. My hands didn't shake. Instead, I felt an odd sense of calm as I read Amanda's gloating message. My stepsister had finally taken the bait I'd spent months carefully laying out. My name is Olivia Chin, and at 26, I'm a resident surgeon who's learned that sometimes the best revenge is simply being 10 steps ahead. You won't believe what your sister just did. My dad's voice trembled through the phone 20 minutes later. Amanda found the account documents and, Olivia, I'm so sorry. She took everything. How much? I asked, keeping my voice steady as I changed out of my scrubs. $500,000. Your entire college fund. She transferred it all to her account this morning. I only just found out. He sounded devastated, probably remembering how my late mother had set up that fund, adding to it every month since I was born. It's okay, Dad, I said, surprising him with my calmness. Actually, can you come over tonight? There's something you need to know. Amanda's next text buzzed through, shopping spree time. Always knew being your stepsister would pay off someday. You were so stuck up about your precious college fund, never sharing a dime. Well, guess what? It's all mine now. I smiled, thinking about the real college fund, safely tucked away in an offshore account my mother had set up before she passed. The account Amanda found, that was the trap I'd set 3 months ago when I first discovered her snooping through Dad's office. The college fund documents she found were perfect forgeries, leading to an account I'd set up specifically for this purpose. Every dollar in it was carefully sourced and documented, with a clear trail leading back to some questionable transactions I'd discovered while going through my stepmother Patricia's old financial records. You see, 6 months ago, I found evidence that Patricia had been running a small-scale money laundering operation through her real estate business. Nothing too obvious, just enough to supplement their lifestyle and fuel Amanda's shopping addiction. I kept that information to myself, biding my time. Then I noticed Amanda going through Dad's files late at night, clearly looking for something. It didn't take much to figure out what. She'd always been jealous of my college fund, constantly complaining about how unfair it was that I had free money while she had to work retail. So I created a trail of breadcrumbs. A carelessly hidden folder in Dad's desk. Bank statements showing regular deposits. A forgotten sticky note with account details. Dad arrived at my apartment that evening, looking exhausted. Olivia, I've already called the police. But Amanda's claiming you gave her permission to access the account. Patricia is backing her up, saying you mentioned wanting to share it with your sister. I gestured for him to sit down and pulled out my laptop. Dad, there's something you need to see. But first, has Amanda spent any of the money yet? He nodded miserably. She's already transferred most of it to different accounts. Started making large purchases. Patricia says we should just let it go, that it's fair since you've already finished medical school. I turned my laptop around to show him the real bank statements. That money Amanda took. It's not my college fund. Mom was smarter than that. His eyes widened as he read through the documents. But if that's not your college fund, what did Amanda actually take? Just then, my phone buzzed with another text from Amanda. Just bought my dream car. And put a deposit down on a condo. You should be happy for me, sis. I deserve this way more than you do. I showed Dad the text, then pulled up another document. Remember how Patricia always seemed to have extra money, even when her business was struggling? I found these transactions while organizing your files last spring. The account Amanda stole from. It's filled with money that Patricia's been laundering through her real estate deals. Dad's face went pale. What are you saying? I'm saying that in about, I checked my watch, 20 minutes, Amanda's going to get a call from the bank's fraud department. They've been monitoring that account since I flagged it 3 months ago. Every purchase she makes is being tracked. You set this up. Dad's voice was barely a whisper. No, Dad, Patricia set this up years ago. I just made sure Amanda found it. Everything she's doing now. The transfers, the purchases. It's all creating a perfect paper trail leading right back to Patricia's money laundering operation. As if on cue, my phone lit up with a call from Amanda. I let it go to voicemail, already knowing what it was about. The bank would be calling her about suspicious activity, launching an investigation that would uncover years of Patricia's financial crimes. I should go home, Dad said, standing up shakily. Try to stop her before. Before what? I interrupted gently. Before she faces the consequences of her actions? She stole what she thought was my entire future, Dad. She didn't just take it, she gloated about it. Let her learn what happens when you take things that don't belong to you. He looked at me for a long moment, seeing not just his daughter but my mother's daughter, someone who knew how to play the long game. My phone buzzed again with another text from Amanda. Hey, something weird is happening with the bank. Call me SIL. I turned to Dad. You should probably head home. Things are about to get interesting. As he left, looking both proud and terrified, I sat back and waited for the chaos to unfold. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about letting people walk right into the traps they set for themselves. I picked up my phone to check the time just as another message came through from Amanda. What did you do? The bank is asking about money laundering. Call me now. I smiled, thinking of my mother and how she taught me to always be 3 steps ahead. The real college fund was safe. Amanda and Patricia were about to learn some hard lessons about karma, and I hadn't had to lift a finger. Sometimes the best revenge is simply being prepared. The next morning, my apartment doorbell rang at 6 a.m. I opened it to find Amanda, her perfectly maintained appearance now disheveled, mascara streaking down her face. What did you do? She shrieked, trying to push past me into the apartment. The bank froze everything. They're saying something about illegal money and investigations. I stepped aside, letting her storm in. There was no point fighting. This confrontation was inevitable. I didn't do anything, Amanda. You're the one who stole money from an account that wasn't yours. That was your college fund, she spat, pacing my living room like a caged animal. I took what you owed me after all these years of flaunting your privileges. I sat down calmly on my couch, watching her unravel. Did you really think my mother, a financial advisor, would leave my college fund so poorly protected? That money you took came from your mom's special account. You know, the one she uses for her creative real estate transactions. Amanda's face went pale. What are you talking about? The unexplained deposits, the mysterious cash buyers who never seem to exist, your shopping sprees with money that appears out of nowhere. I pulled out a folder and set it on the coffee table. It's all here. Every transaction, every fake buyer, every laundered dollar. And now, thanks to your greed, the bank is investigating all of it. You set me up, she whispered, realization dawning in her eyes. No, Amanda, you set yourself up. I just let you do what you do best. Take things that don't belong to you. Her phone buzzed, Patricia's name flashing on the screen. Amanda's hands shook as she answered it on speaker. The FBI is here. Patricia's voice was panicked. Amanda, what did you do with that money? They're asking about all the transfers. I could hear male voices in the background, official-sounding terms like warrant and financial records floating through the speaker. Mom, Amanda's voice cracked. The money, it wasn't Olivia's college fund. It was yours. The one from your business. The silence on the other end was deafening. When Patricia spoke again, her voice was ice cold. Get home. Now. Amanda ended the call, looking at me with a mixture of hatred and fear. You've ruined everything. You did that all on your own, I replied. Both of you did. Years of taking advantage of Dad, stealing, manipulating. Did you really think there wouldn't be consequences? She grabbed her designer bag, probably purchased with laundered money, and headed for the door. This isn't over. Actually, it is. The FBI doesn't take financial crimes lightly. Better call the lawyer, sis. After she left, I called Dad. He answered on the first ring. The FBI is here, he said, his voice hollow. They're going through Patricia's office. How long have you known? About her money laundering? 6 months. I found the evidence while helping you organize the home office, remember? But I needed proof that couldn't be explained away. Amanda's theft and subsequent spending spree provided that perfectly. Why didn't you tell me? I sighed, thinking of all the times he dismissed my concerns about Patricia and Amanda's behavior. Would you have believed me? Or would Patricia have convinced you I was just being jealous again? His silence was answer enough. Throughout the day, texts flooded in from Amanda. They're taking Mom's computers. Dad won't stop crying. The FBI agent says we might face charges. How could you do this to us? I ignored them all, focusing instead on my hospital rounds. It wasn't until evening that I got the call I'd been waiting for. Mr. Harrison, my mother's old lawyer. Everything went exactly as you predicted, he said. The bank flagged the suspicious transfers, which triggered the FBI investigation. They've uncovered quite a network of money laundering through Patricia's real estate business. And my real college fund. Safe and secure, just as your mother set it up. The offshore account hasn't been touched. Patricia and Amanda never even knew it existed. I thanked him and hung up, feeling a weight lift from my shoulders. My mother had always said, keep your cards close and your enemies closer. She'd known, somehow, that I might need protection one day. Later that night, Dad came to my apartment. He looked older, tired, but there was a clarity in his eyes I hadn't seen in years. Patricia's been arrested, he said, sitting heavily on my couch. Money laundering, tax evasion, wire fraud. Amanda's being questioned as an accomplice. All these years, I never saw what was happening right under my nose. I made us both tea, a habit I picked up from my mother. You saw what you wanted to see, Dad. They counted on that. Your mother? He started, his voice catching. She would have seen through them immediately. She did, I said softly. Why do you think she set up my college fund the way she did? She knew something like this might happen. Dad looked at me, really looked at me, perhaps seeing for the first time how much I resembled my mother, not just in appearance, but in foresight and strength. I'm sorry, he said, for not protecting you better, for letting them make you feel like an outsider in your own home. I took his hand, feeling the years of distance between us start to close. I protected myself, Dad, just like Mom taught me to. My phone buzzed with another text from Amanda. The FBI is charging Mom. This is all your fault. You've destroyed our family. I showed it to Dad, who read it with a sad shake of his head. She still doesn't get it, does she? This isn't about you. It's about their choices. Some people never learn. I agreed. They're so used to blaming others that they can't see their own responsibility. As Dad left that evening, he paused at the door. Your mother would be proud of you, not just for protecting yourself, but for being smart enough to let them reveal who they really are. I smiled, thinking of the white envelope in my desk drawer, the one containing the letter Mom had left with Mr. Harrison to be given to me when I needed it most. Inside, she'd written, sometimes the best defense is letting your enemies think they've won. Watch, wait, and let them defeat themselves. She'd known, somehow, that I'd need these lessons one day, that I'd face people who would try to take what was mine. And she prepared me, not just with a protected college fund, but with the wisdom to handle those who would try to harm me. As I got ready for bed that night, one final text came through from Amanda. We're going to lose everything because of you. I didn't respond. She'd lost everything because of her own choices, her own greed, her own belief that she could take whatever she wanted without consequences. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about letting justice take its natural course. 6 months after Amanda's failed attempt to steal my college fund, I sat in the courtroom watching Patricia and Amanda face sentencing. The FBI's investigation had uncovered far more than just money laundering, years of tax evasion, wire fraud, and a network of fake property deals that have funded their lavish lifestyle. Patricia stood before the judge, her designer clothes replaced by modest business attire, trying to maintain her dignity as the charges were read. Amanda sat behind her, head down, no longer the confident bully who texted me gloating about stealing my future. The defendant, Patricia Wilson, is sentenced to 5 years in federal prison, the judge announced, her voice firm. Additionally, all assets connected to the illegal activities will be seized. Amanda, charged as an accomplice for her role in spending and transferring the laundered money, received 3 years of probation and a substantial fine. Her dream of an easy life, funded by stolen money, had crumbled spectacularly. As they were led out of the courtroom, Amanda caught my eye. The hatred in her gaze had been replaced by something else. Understanding, perhaps, that her own greed had been her undoing. Dad waited for me outside the courthouse, looking both relieved and exhausted. It's finally over, he said, running a hand through his graying hair. Almost, I replied. There's something I need to show you. We drove to a small cafe where my mother and I used to have Saturday brunches. Once seated, I pulled out an envelope, the one she'd left with Mr. Harrison. Mom wrote this letter before she died. I explained, handing it to him. She knew Patricia wasn't what she seemed. She saw through the act from the beginning. Dad's hands trembled as he read. My dearest Olivia, if you're reading this, then someone has tried to take what's rightfully yours. I've watched Patricia since your father started dating her, seeing how she manipulates situations for her benefit. Trust your instincts about her. They're the same instincts I have. The real college fund is protected, but that's not the most important thing I'm leaving you. I'm leaving you the wisdom to handle people like Patricia and Amanda. Don't fight fire with fire, let them burn themselves out. Take care of your father. He's a good man who sometimes sees the best in people who don't deserve it. All my love. Mom. Dad wiped his eyes, folding the letter carefully. She knew all along. Why didn't she say anything? Would you have believed her? I asked gently, or would you have thought she was just jealous of your new relationship? He nodded, understanding dawning in his eyes. She protected you the only way she could, by teaching you to protect yourself. Later that evening, I visited Mom's grave, placing fresh flowers beside her headstone. I sat there for a while, telling her about everything that had happened. You were right, Mom, I said softly. Sometimes the best way to deal with people like Patricia and Amanda is to let them think they've won. They do all the work of destroying themselves. My phone buzzed. A text from Amanda, sent from her mother's prison. I hope you're happy. We've lost everything. I didn't respond. She still didn't understand that this wasn't about happiness or revenge. It was about justice, about consequences finally catching up with their actions. Dad's been different since the trial. He's more present, more aware. We have weekly dinners now, slowly rebuilding our relationship without Patricia's manipulative presence between us. Sometimes he asks about the real college fund, but I keep those details private. Mom taught me well, some cards are best kept close to the chest, even with those you love. As for Amanda, last I heard, she's working retail again, living in a small apartment, learning the hard way that honest work is better than easy money. Sometimes consequences are the best teachers. My mother's final lesson wasn't about money or protection. It was about patience, wisdom, and letting people reveal their true nature. In trying to steal what they thought was my inheritance, Patricia and Amanda lost everything they had. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's simply having the wisdom to step back and let justice take its course. And that college fund they never found. It's still growing, safely tucked away. A reminder that my mother's love and protection extend far beyond her time with me. Some legacies can't be stolen, no matter how hard people try.